still carrying on in his morning patrol. But it sounds like he got into what we heard from other guides, an altercation last night. Very good morning to all the viewers and subscribers. We've headed out this morning and it appears to be quite an overcast morning with a bit of cloud cover. So we were out very early this morning before the sun was up. It was still very dark, and to be honest, we haven't even seen the sun rise. It's just gotten light because it's so thick with all the clouds. And we've come all the way down to Southgate quarry, where we've bumped into a hippo bull and a very large crocodile that's just resting here on the banks of Southgate quarry. Now, we heard impala alarm calling in the area, so we thought maybe that there was a leopard around. I did go and investigate and I had no luck, but we've just gotten an update now that the Inburi pride are somewhere around Tinswalo, close to the airstrip. So we're slowly going to bumble and make our way up there and get a head count on the Imburis and give you all an update. So let's see how the rest of the drive goes this morning. So after leaving Southgate quarry, we made our way slowly back up towards Tinswalo, and now we've found the Inburi pride. So at the moment I only count 4 individuals. It looks like 2 lionesses and a youngster. On the way up here and in and around the area, there's a lot of prey. There was a big herd of zebra, quite a nice sized herd of wildebeest, and there's a report of a few buffalo around Tinswalo. So there's lots of prey options for the Inburi pride if they are going to move, and I don't see, doesn't look like their bellies are very full, quite slim and thin bellies. So hopefully we'll be waiting in anticipation. Hopefully they're going to get up and hunt at some point in the day, or even maybe this afternoon when we come back. But we're just going to hang around with them now for a bit and see what they get up to. I don't think they'll do much, but hopefully with the cooler weather it will provoke them to maybe get up and hunt, or even move into a better spot for us to look at them. So this is a really special find. What a surprise. We heard an update while we were sitting with the Imburis that there was a cheetah relatively close to the Inburi lock, and we thought, why not, let's give it a shot and see if we can get you. We don't often, so we haven't had many cheetah as of late on the virtual safari. Hopefully that's going to change now as we go into winter and the bush starts to thin out and everything becomes drier, water becomes more scarce, and it results with us having more cheetah sightings. But we know this cheetah quite well. This is a young male. Normally he was seen with his sister at the beginning of the year, and you would have seen, I think it was one of the first episodes, I think it was the very first episode of 2023, we had this young male and his sister also not far from Tinswalo, close to the boom gate, and now we've been lucky enough to catch up with him again. So one thing that is very distinct about this young male that I've noticed from IDing him and the other cheetahs that we get around Tinswalo is that he has an exceptionally white tail, like a very white tip. Normally cheetahs have a small white tip with rings or black rings with white in between them on the tail, but he seems to have a very white tip on his tail. Hopefully it will pop up out of the long grass that he's lying in on this termite mound, and then I'll be able to show you what I mean by just how white his tail is. But it's so good to spend some quality time with a cheetah again. So now you can just see how white that tip of that tail is. I'm going to lose him now as he goes into the long grass. But look how white his tip is in particular. So that was awesome, very unexpected sighting. But we're going to leave this young male cheetah now. So he's just walked off into this long grass. It's quite a thick block. I can just see the giraffe in the distance slowly following along, just keeping an eye on him. And obviously then there's a few birds and francolin that have shot up out of the grass, obviously as he's walked by and disturbed them. So yeah, we're going to leave him. Very cool to catch up with this young male. Hopefully he sticks around. I know cheetahs are very nomadic and move all over the place, but hopefully he becomes a little bit of a star on the virtual safari and stays in the area. So good stuff. I mean, it was cool sitting with the Imburis this morning, but they weren't very active. So when we heard about the cheetah, we decided to take the opportunity, take the gamble and go for it. And it definitely paid off in the end. So we're going to head out again this afternoon and try and see what the Imburis get up to. Hopefully they get up and hunt and we get some action from them. We've got this little youngster who's very curious about what we're doing, and there's quite a large cow behind the youngster, and she's got a very, very impressive set of tusks on her. I'm hoping she'll turn and we can just show you how impressive these tusks are. She's got one very long one, and then the other one's also not too short either. So now we've left the maze of elephants. We eventually got out of that herd. It was a very, very big block and a very big herd that was occupying that block. And now we've bumped into looks like a breeding pair of lilac-breasted rollers. And when I pulled up to the sighting, they were trying to feed each other. So I'm hoping they're going to do that again, because it made for quite a pretty shot with both birds in the frame. Some things just don't go to plan. So now the one roller that was sitting on the far side of the branch, the other one topped closer, and now I see it's just finished its meal and the other one's flown away. So it just shows you how you expect some things and you want some things to play out in the bush and it just doesn't happen. But that's what makes it so interesting and so exciting, is that you can't script these things, and even if it's as small as a lilac-breasted roller feeding its partner, or something like a lion killing a buffalo, it's just things you can't write up, and it's things you just have to experience each day as it comes. So sometimes out in the bush you get disappointed, and we've just been disappointed this afternoon, and we've come back to where the Inburi pride was this morning, and we've found that they're not here. So it just shows you how you also expect lions to be lazy the whole day and for you to pick up on them in the afternoon, and they don't always cooperate. So now the best thing to do is just listen. There's lots of vehicles around checking this area, but I've just decided to stop here close to a waterhole and just listen and keep my ears open and my eyes peeled. Hopefully they'll either pop out and come have a drink, or we'll hear alarm calls, or maybe even them vocalizing to each other. So we're gonna just sit tight for a bit and hopefully relocate them soon. So there's nothing quite like watching the sunrise this morning. It was a spectacular sunrise. It was just beautiful. We got to Wild Dog Dam when it was still dark and it was just starting to get light. So we've come this way in the hopes of relocating the Inburi pride from last night, but so far no luck. We did hear quite a lot of commotion around camp last night in the river just behind our camp, and we thought maybe we'd be lucky on one of the roads behind camp here this morning, but so far no luck. So we're going to keep searching the area, and hopefully that Inburi pride is going to pop out. So this morning we left the search for the Inburi pride, and we've come all the way down south, and we've just managed to bump into the Imbali S8 male, and he's on a mission this morning. He was vocalizing heavily, and now we've just managed to catch up with him, and really good to see him again. It's been a while since we've managed to film the Imbali male, so now we're going to just spend time with him and see what he gets up to. So we've just left the S8 Imbali male, and he's still on a mission, patrolling and not looking very happy. So we spoke to the other guides, and under further investigation it seems as that he got into an altercation last night, and we are unsure as to who he got into an altercation with. There's a lot of mystery at the moment going on in the southern part of the Manuleti, lots of change in lion dynamics. So we suspect it could possibly have been, maybe there's a male lion known as the Mohawk male lion. He's one of the last evoker males, and he has got 5 Nkuhuma sons, and one of the Talamati males also has apparently joined him in the sands. So things are getting very interesting. Could be pressure from them increasing on S8's territory and the Talamati pride, but for now we're going to leave him on his morning patrol, and we're going to see if we can catch up with any other lions this morning. So after leaving the Imbali S8 male, we have come down south even further, and after searching endlessly for the tracks and a sign of where we had an update of where the lions were, we found a pride of lions, and we are really clueless as to who they are. We can only presume that it's either the Imbali pride and a small group of the Imbali pride. We also think it could maybe be portions of the Nkuhuma pride, or even the Talamati breakaway pride. So there's a lot of mystery around this pride. Our strongest feeling is going towards, we think that it's the Imbali pride, but we will have to send it off and get back to the lodge and ideate with some of the guides and have a discussion as to who it could be. But we think it's more likely the Imbali pride. So we count 7 members. There's about 5 females and 2 young males. Okay, so that brings this virtual safari to an end. It was quite a jam-packed virtual safari. We struggled a bit to keep up with any lions and get the Imburis. That's why we came all the way south, because the Imburis have moved from around Tinswalo. So we're unsure as to where they've moved to, but hopefully they'll come back into the area in the next few days, and on the next virtual safari we'll give you a good update on them. But also very cool to come down south and find some new lions. It's always fascinating to see new lions and try and ID where they're from and who they are on the virtual safari. But I hope you all enjoyed that. It was a good few days of following cheetah, good general game, also really nice elephants, and now of course the S8 Imbali male this morning, and we think now the Imbali pride as well. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Stay tuned for the next one.